Hi there. It's my third match of Dominion League Season 26, and I'm playing Akuchi in a Cobbler cage match. And Cobbler's not very good on this board. It's really bad, actually. But I will get to open Apprentice Lighthouse, which is decently solid, although I wouldn't... we don't have sheltered, okay. Although I wouldn't mind just a double amulet. I mean, I could open with Cobbler for the sake of the cage match, but I'm just not going to. That doesn't work. I expect to play something with Horde and Apprentices, and then some Platinum, probably. Not quite certain how all that should go down, but definitely wanted trash, so I expect to pick up an amulet on my shuffle, my reshuffle. As far as terminals, I'm not certain I want to go past a couple amulets, or even just one amulet every other turn, maybe. Journeyman is alright. Forge could be a thing. Realistically, you just want to build up to a quality deck that can buy colonies. You don't have to... There's not a huge amount of stuff you can do here beyond that. So, I mean, I agree with his opening thus far. Looks pretty good. I wasn't significantly late to our match because I forgot. We were playing. So I showed up about 45 minutes late, 50 minutes late, and then we got started a little while after that. So yeah, like I said, I get the amulet here. I'll probably go with 2. I mean, I would like to trash pretty quick here if I can. This is alright, I get another apprentice. I'm not... Obviously, it would have been great to draw an amulet here, but this is still pretty nice. So, they collide, but it's not that big a deal. Really, it's not a big deal at all. I will buy more lighthouses, not particularly because I want or need the money. Simply because this is a little bit sad. My trashing has condensed itself a bit further than I would have liked. But next turn might be pretty nice. I could trash a lighthouse, but I just don't think that's worth it. There's got to be some sort of limit here to how many silvers and whatever you want, but I'm not really sure where you hit that, so... I may take another apprentice here. Some point, like there I could have bought a lighthouse, of course, but I just decided I don't want it. At some point you have to get 6 to buy your horde, but I'm gonna go ahead, like I could get it here. I could get the horde here and trash it's just whether I want to double trash or not, I guess. I'm gonna buy the horde. I was thinking of doing the other thing, but I'm gonna try the horde first. We'll see how that goes. He is thinner than me. Right now, but that's probably changing right there, or at least that was quite a nice turn for me. I don't really know that I want any more silvers. I'm not sure anyway. I will probably here buy another horde. Which I'm going to have plenty of money to do anyway. Okay. I don't know if I have any coppers left. Turns out I do, but just the one. I believe I'll be able to. Okay, he buys that thing. I think I'll be able to do the same thing here, unless I've miscounted, which is possible. Oh yeah, I certainly have miscounted, so I still think that's how I would have liked to play the turn. So it's not a bad spot for him. The lighthouses are going to be... Yeah, he's been a little better about getting rid of his amulets, which I should have done, probably. I should have stopped and thought a little harder at the start of that turn, certainly. So I don't want to... I mean, This is certainly going to turn on whether people draw their apprentices in their opening hands with golds. Like, that's just how it's gonna, how the whole deck's gonna turn, whether you're lucky enough to have apprentice in your opening 5 cards or not. So and he didn't hear, which is nice, though he can just buy a apprentice, you know. Yeah. I could certainly just trash the amulet here. I'm trying to think if there's a draw if I do that or I whiff. I already have 8 in hand. I mean, I might end with having to well, I have apprentice in the bottom here, which is nice. So I have to play one of these lighthouses. I could trash the lighthouse to the amulet here. Of course, playing it is fine too. I'm not at all confident that that was necessarily the correct thing. Well, here it is already punishing me a bit. To be sure. Probably it was a little late for that kind of play. You just want the money because you don't have any guarantee you're having apprentices. I mean, I guess I'm gonna buy a province here. It could be a forge. It's still it's not totally crazy to buy a forge. Hopefully. Oh, I did play one at Lighthouse. Okay, so it's alright. That's lucky. Well, it's not lucky, it's just, that's what it was. I just didn't realize it. I mean, he can buy a province here, right? But I can safely colony. He went first even, so I could even trash the duchy and colony safely. Which might be the thing to do. Right, because he went first. He didn't have any extra that kind of gains. So that might be, now might be the time to do that. Since I would really rather and here I want to trash a horde, I think, since this is probably my last shuffle, and so I'd rather have a gold in the deck than a horde. Or am I missing something? That's probably... I'll have the gold anyway. If I keep the horde, I'll just have a horde too. Yeah, that's just wrong. And I still have an amulet, so I'll have enough money plus other stuff. Do I want a silver now? Silver is probably better than nothing here. Alright, he went for it. And I just have it in hand here now. Because I can chop the province or whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay. So I managed to draw really well there to always have apprentice, or the one turn I didn't have apprentice, I just bought a colony straight up, so that was really lucky. I had to take some green cards that I didn't necessarily want at the beginning, duchy and province, but it didn't end up hurting me. I think the 5-2 is probably a little better there. I don't know, the 3-4 is alright. The 5-2 is nicer because you get this cycling. With the apprentice trashing the estates, you move through the deck a little faster. Colony again, so even though your ability to build up here is somewhat limited, maybe a little more than somewhat, fairly limited, still seems worthwhile to build up somewhat. Though they're not the greatest things for building. To be honest, you can try to have as many bazaars and enchantresses and embassies, I guess, as you can manage. The vassals are going to be really tough to fit in because of the... Well, I mean, you could do it. It's just they're not like extremely great or anything. Which makes, again, the ironworks and the cobbler not, at least to my mind, all that impressive. The ironworks, of course, is nice because you don't have to buy the enchantresses, right? You just gain them. So I'm gonna open with one mainly as a enchantress machine, I suppose. There might be some spots for night watchmen as well. But it's not. It's gotta be a situational thing, right, with your ironwork sometimes. Banks should be quite good. You just really cross your fingers that you hit 5 a lot, because you gotta buy those bazaars if you want to do the enchantress stuff. Or really, if you want to build it all. Tormentor is possible here, I guess. If you've got some imps, you'd be glad to have them. It's a little hard to get them, but... Actually, I might take a Tormentor on my first 5. That seems reasonable. It doesn't play well with... It doesn't play well with Enchantress. So you probably aren't getting a whole lot of imps out of it. But like every imp is really good. And hexing is okay too, so... He's drawn pretty well, it seems to me. But, I don't know. Okay, I do get an imp here, which I'm pretty glad of. I haven't played a non-pig enchantress yet, but that's okay. Okay, so he has 3 enchantresses to my 1. I'm doing okay on the bazaar front. I'm gonna buy embassies. I will buy embassies later on. This is potentially quite a sad draw. Well, that's okay. He probably gets the last bazaar here, which maybe gave him a 6-4 split on those. Not sure. He takes the embassy, okay. He's now miserable. Which I'm fine with. I think I got 5 of the bazaars. I'm not really sure. We might find out this turn if he got 5 or 6. Looks like 5, unless it's in the bottom, which it could be. Unfilled by plat here or bank. Seems like it'd be hard for, maybe not that hard, but bank's gonna outscore platinum a lot of times, though. When you're in that situation, it's gonna be hard to draw a hand where you have the bank be worth more than platinum, but platinum wouldn't have gotten you to 11. That'd be a real stretch, to be honest. So I got an enchantress down there. I'll take some embassies of my own. If I hit 11, I'll probably just buy a colony. Maybe 1 platinum is reasonable, but he did not get an enchantress down, so that's nice. We'll play with the Night Watchman, why not? It's interesting thing. I didn't get to any enchantresses here. And I've got 11 now, so I guess I can decide whether I need to keep my promises or not. I don't really care if I keep my promises. So we'll take 1 platinum. This is a quite nice Night Watchman. This should be a fine turn, even though the first bazaar, of course, will be a bad one. Should still have plenty of actions to play the enchantresses that are down in here. He didn't have a very good turn. Which is nice for me. This is an alright shuffle to trigger, to be honest. This is 11 right now, 10. Alright, 2 platinum should be plenty on that front. And I'll just green from here on out. I'm sure he'll have 11 this turn. So, I don't know, it'll be his call whether he decides to just go ahead and buy the colony or not. Miserable may end up helping. And the other hexes, I mean, I could get a few other hexes that could do some quite nice work. At this point, Delusion isn't going to do much. Envious is not going to do much. I'd be interested if he doesn't take any platinum. I'm not sure on that one. Have to think on this Ironworks if it's worth. Well, there's a Night Watchman sitting down in here anyway, so. I mean, Envious might stop him from hitting 11, but probably not. Now with 2 enchantresses down, I mean most of his treasures are just, most of his money comes from bazaar stringing, really. We'll want to be careful here not to do any bad reshuffles in some cases with the embassies. he still had 11, which is pretty funny. He had exactly 11 though, so I did almost, I guess, get him with that. This better just be one bazaar this way. This is a really excellent draw, except for the platinums colliding. But other than that, it's okay. Or a little better than okay, really. Silver is not. Maybe. Yeah, we still want it gone, I think. This is a hand where surely he doesn't have colony, right? Because he just doesn't have any big treasures. Though I'll probably miss colony too on my turn, to be honest, since my platinums were both in the last hand. Though I do have a embassy still left, or maybe I just have one embassy. So maybe not. I might make it. I mean, I have a good amount of money right here in hand, so. Probably just cantrip the ironworks. Buys a duchy, huh? I guess that makes up the... This would be a great time to know what was left in my deck, because I potentially could just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have $8 right now. Yeah, and I could just have to do this, but so this is 1, 2, 5, 10. If I'm counting this right, which I'm not. Dang, I have to trigger shuffle. Shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I just have 10 here. So I have to shuffle this. This is not ideal. And I didn't get an enchantress down. I guess I just cantrip that. Well, the embassy might hit me colony, right? Because I've got these platinums. I mean, it's very likely to draw a bunch of dead. I mean, it's quite likely to draw dead bazaars, but still, it's got to be better than the bazaar to play. Even though I may just draw dead actions. So he buys a bank. Is reasonable. Yeah. So I have colony here. This was perfect. Can't complain at all about that. I wonder if I should even keep the enchantress. Well, yeah, I mean, at the least I can cantrip with it, right? Did he shuffle yet? No. So he's gonna just, again, not have much. And he didn't play a... So I could buy a bank or a night watchman. really, if I can just get to colony one more time, that's pretty good. Or it pretty well sets me up to win. I think I've had good draws. I'm not quite sure. I guess I didn't feel like I would beat him up so much in the greening phase, but the embassies, I guess, aren't doing quite as much work for him as one would hope. It's maybe overly optimistic to try and draw much here, which is what actually I was trying to do, but I didn't quite get there because of stuff. So anyway, I don't quite have it in hand because I could cantrip the imp and then I would have 9, so but I'll just cantrip the bazaar. It may not get there, but no, I think we're already there. Alright. Yeah, I'm not quite sure that how that one became so lopsided. Well, so far Cobbler hasn't been doing any work. Oh, we got goat. This is a better Cobbler board. I have the sad goat. I mean, it's okay. The 4s are fine. Another colony. What are the events or the landmarks? Mountain Pass or Bandit Fort? Yeah, Tragic Cure is going to be pretty nice here because you can gain platinum with it. If this weren't a goat board, I would probably just open with the Cobbler. I don't know whether that's worth, or the trading post one. Whether that's worth it or not, I'm not fully sure. Probably you don't need to open with the Cobbler. You can get one later. The real question is whether you need to trash your first goat or buy a trading post. Trash your first goat player by a trading post, I think. Trading post will help you get the first grand market and probably help you buy heralds pretty well. Then it becomes a little cruddier later on. You can get rid of it easily enough. There are, of course, other ways to get up to those things that don't involve... You could trash... I don't know that you would play with Talisman here. I don't usually play with Talisman anywhere, to be honest, but... You might worry you'd have too many silvers still around by the time you got... But piles could lower, I guess, is what I'm saying. And then you might be a little sad about your bandit fort situation. he buys a pixie. I would not have opened Forge or Pixie. That's a kind of a weird one to me. I'm certainly not worried about Young Witch, period. Don't think I am anyway. So I could do Talisman. If I don't hit 4 with it, it's pretty bad because it's really just a herald machine. I guess I'm going to try the trading post. This is a good hand. I think good enough. I'll buy Forager. I'm not quite sure on the heavy pixie stuff, but I guess it's fine. He certainly has a lot of pixies now. I can't decide. What does 5 get me? Like a Forum or a Cobbler? Let's get the Cobbler. It's the Cobbler cage match. This is a pretty sad hand. I'm gonna kill the goat, I guess. Though it's a little premature. If he has the treasures in hand, I'd probably do it. Nope, he doesn't. He's just gonna love the pixies. I'm not sure of this play, but it's fun. So I can either get a Talisman or get a herald now. Tragic Hero is not bad. If you can hit it off a herald to get a platinum, it's pretty nice. I can't. It's hard for me to know how often how many more times the Cobbler will really do anything. I have to expect the heralds are going to go pretty fast, and then they're picking up pixies. I mean, they can pick up other stuff, but I'm still not very worried about the Young Witch. Maybe I should be. What with my goat dead? This should be a grand market turn. Or should be is too strong. This is potentially a grand market turn. There are a couple cards that I could have top deck that would prevent it. Maybe just one. Maybe just the Cobbler. Well, like, yeah. Anyway, there are some ways it could be in, sadly, for me. But I would like to pick up a Grand Market if I can. He gets 2 pixies. Okay, so I should be good here. I guess I couldn't have anyway. He sure has a lot of pixies. I hope my herald hits an action. This is my that's basically all I know about Dominion, is I hope the good thing for me happens to me. I hope I get lucky. That's all I can do. Pretty much. Now he plays this young witch and he like ends with 3 cards in hand. Like, what are they? Is he gonna buy another pixie? I mean, yeah, okay. Aw, it didn't. That's okay. I'm still gonna be pretty good on this here herald front so far. And he has like no money still. I have some curses. Okay, I'll trash him with my forager. It'll be awesome. We got a silver in the trash now too, right? Yeah, look at these foragers, powered up. If I had a lot of confidence of getting to 8 here, I would probably take a talisman, which I will be pretty close to, I suppose. Hey, now he has some money at least. That's good for him. If I take the talisman, I can get 4 of the heralds right now. Maybe. Like, I've got $5 in hand. 6, well, more than that. I got $6 in hand. The talisman would be 7, so I would just have to fail to get any extra money. Let's do it. Gotta live a little. Now I could stop here, and in fact I don't know what real advantage I'm going to get by going past this point in the proceedings. I don't think I'll get a trading post trash that does me any good. So I almost have enough for the pixies as well. I suppose I do have enough for the pixies. I can overpay one, that's cool. Don't overpay. My only fear is a pile out on curses, I guess, but that's not really an issue right now. And probably won't be. So now I've got the herald deck, and he's got, I don't know what he's got. He's got a thin deck, but I mean, that's nothing to shake a stick at, I guess. So am I very likely to have 10 here? I may already, or yeah, that's what I would need. Well, if I toss the Cobbler, I have it already. If I toss Herald Copper, I'm short one. I mean, I don't have to buy the last two heralds now either. I also go further in the hole. And then the other option, of course, is just to play the herald and see if we come up with anything exciting. The herald could draw more heralds, and we could just, it could also just, you know, see a curse or something. In which case we're just back to kind of where we are right now, so it's probably better just to try that. This could end somewhat poorly. I'm not fully sure what the advantage of the Cobbler is to me this next turn necessarily, which inclines me to discard it. Okay. Very good. So I can get to the things I want, and I don't have to gain another silver. So I can, I can probably, yeah, this is fine. So that was nice. I could just double grand market. I'm playing kind of slow. I probably would have gotten the rest of the heralds there. I'm not sure where you want to incorporate the tragic hero there, because I certainly think there's a spot for it, but it's not obvious to me anyway how to get that in there. I'm gonna go with Tournament Silver, though I could see Tournament Monastery as well. It's hard to build. Well, it's not really hard to build, it's just a little weird. Obviously, plenty to build with. This is fine. Hopefully I have to hit 5 here, so I'll buy a sentry. You know, I mean, you could buy other stuff too, but I like the sentry. Hopefully the sentry isn't sad. In fact, it's incredibly happy. That's just crazy. I can afford King's Court already. That's bonkers. That's a stupid lucky turn. If I hit 5 again, I would probably buy... I don't know what I would buy. Swamp Hag's okay. I'll be able to... Well... I guess I am either... I don't really need the King of... So I just am getting lucky in all the ways. Repeatedly. Just like absurd luck. Wasn't a very good Cobbler board. The last one, Cobbler, was pretty nice. Or at least it could do some things. Here, there are definitely 4s it can gain. What is Arena? Discard an action, is that what it is? Yeah. They're limited extra gains here. You're really only looking at the count as a serious source of extra VP. I would argue though that with Enchantress there's extra gain for building in the form of Cobbler, of course. I think I'm going to go Silver Masquerade. Skipping Young Witch. We'll get Enchantresses if we can. Ports should be quite nice. You don't need a lot of ports. I mean, like 1 or 2 port buys, you're good on that front, I think. I mean, you might take more if you don't have anything better to play, but I don't really... Transmute, I guess, is also a thing that can give you extra VP. I hope his Masquerade missed the shuffle. So I will go ahead and get my Enchantress now. I have 5 in this next hand. Well, I'll still have 5 in it. So I will buy a Cobbler with this next hand. His Mask did miss, so that's great for me. Here I'll play the Masquerade. Probably buy port. I'll get the arena points, I guess, from the Enchantress. Ideally, we draw like a copper and the Cobbler, but that's not so likely. He's had pretty rotten draws this series. I don't really remember the whole series, but these last 2 games have not been very kind to him. So that's a little unfortunate that we don't get to buy a port there, but that's okay. I will probably game the Enchantress by ports here. Embargo is just like the crappiest card ever. He maybe just had to buy it, I don't know. But it is sure just like the worst card. You can cantrip it to enchantresses. That's the only nice thing I have to say about Embargo. Anywhere. Let's see what he picks up. It may pick something up that he just plans to cantrip. Gets a gold, which is fine. This is also fine. I don't love hitting the ports, of course, but I mean, not finding the... Oh, he is a storyteller? I didn't even notice that. That's pretty nice for him. Alright, I don't have to gain a port. That's cool. I could curse him. What's the bane? Embargo? He'd probably just... He still have it. I didn't notice. Probably he, he'll block with the bane every time. I'm trying to think here if I want another Cobbler or not. Or if I want to count right now. I don't know what for I want. A young witch is not crazy. He of course may just get to block it, but I don't remember how many ports I bought. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I ever buy it another time? I guess we just each done it twice. He bought another gold. Okay. I didn't find any of those cobblers. which now I'll find both of them. I really only want to play one of them. He's got the money, you know. I've got everything else. That's not true. He is a storyteller. And now they're even embargoed, which I just don't care about at all. Okay, good. I at least got to the count. Probably not actually a huge reason why one ought to stagger these, but stagger the cobblers is what I'm referring to, but I'm not sure. I think I would like a few more ports. I don't feel any real pressure to green at this point. And why should I? Unless he, you know, pops off, 10 provinces in a row here. Which, you know, he could manage some. He could manage some in a row. Like, you know, a few, for sure. He'll send a curse over now, which I will hopefully send back. Nope. Now here comes the curse. Nope. An estate. If he has his golds, he probably can buy a province. But it's not totally wild to buy a royal blacksmith, I don't think. For me, maybe. I really just picked up the count. What did he buy? Another gold. I really just picked up the count to have the options of duchy gaining at the end. I mean, that was pretty much the exclusive reasoning there. Let's get the enchantress. There wasn't really much else to it. I still don't quite have the draw I'd wish to have, but I can gain that, build that up with the cobblers over however many turns. Let's see if we find the mask or anything. Nope. So we did not find any nice things. We only get one enchantress down here. And quite a number of the ports are out of commission. There is one port in here. And an enchantress and a masquerade. I can buy a gold. I probably am going to need a gold. If he can find his storytellers, then he'll do all right. Oh, he didn't enchant me. I'll get a second mask. I think I'll just keep the estate. Oof. Port's disappeared. That's sad. That's very sad. Oh man, that hurts. That hurts quite a lot, actually. How many? Have 3 ports in the last 5 cards. Wow. Okay. I gotta play an enchantress for sure. I can buy another gold. That's alright. Or I can buy the cobblers. Or not the cobblers, the ports. That's what I meant. Interesting. I mean, I don't feel too bad about this game still, but now I have a little more treasure than I would have liked. He's got to have a storyteller in hand, right? He didn't play it last. I mean, he doesn't have to, but he very likely does. So now he'll get clean a little bit this turn. That was just a really, really crappy draw for me. I almost have to take a mask, don't I? I could take I could take a something else. So I'm not going to play this count. There's no reason to, hardly. May end up just with 1 enchantress in play again. Nope, not this time. Okay, so now we got the turn we wanted. Is there any reason to play on? I'm not gonna triple. Oh, there's that cobbler still. That's worth getting to. Definitely. Okay, this is not too bad. He's got a fat deck and basically one draw card. I'll keep giving him curses. I'll keep sending the curses back to him. He finishes the ports off, which is seems perfectly right to me. I could go for heavier enchantress. I could go for another enchantress here, I guess. I probably will have the actions to play it. Okay. I may not, but I would have gained a port, but he bought them, so. The last cards that count, which I don't especially want on the deck. I mean, I could gain a duchy. I'm not quite sure now is the time for that. Maybe it is. I could certainly make use of a Royal Blacksmith now. I have 2 coppers. I can redraw those suckers. But 5 cards of draw would be awesome. I think one thing he's maybe running into is he has picked up actions that he cantrips, right? But then he's got, I don't know that he's over terminal. Probably not. He's got a big deck. He maybe has just had really bad draws as far as port and terminal stuff, you know. So I can't really speak to that very much. Did I have 3 down the last turn? No, we can't get the last enchantress here. Yeah, it looked it looked pretty lost for him with me getting triple enchantresses down for at least another turn, and I was the only one who could get more VP. Immediately Amulet Tournament is what jumps out to me. I don't think Cobbler's going to be great because it is a little rough with, I mean, you just usually don't want to amass that many tournaments. 5-2 looks really awful. Like, there you probably open the cobbler, but still it's like, it's very slow. Because you have to wait till you play the cobbler, and I've already trashed and moved along some, so yeah, I mean, I'm gonna see, the game can go pretty long because there's these castles, but if you're the person with the prizes, I think you're gonna be in a good spot. And I'm getting pretty darn nice draws so far. I'm a little over tournamented, but the one nice thing he can do is cobbler silver into his hand a turn, which helps, which does help hit eight at least once. So I am at this point like super way over tournamented, and I'm just banking on him being a little slow to getting province, which might be a poor assumption. I don't really know, but I have a lot. You could take Cursed Village at some point. I could have taken it there. I think it probably does make sense to get one at some point. So the hex potentially is kind of painful. In theory, he could buy province in this turn, I think. It's not impossible. I have to think about whether I want a Cursed Village or not. It can be nice. I mean, just playing it from a hand of whatever is pretty nice. We'll just see what it was. What is greed? Gain a copper. Okay, I can live with that. See, he did get a province right there, which is really good for him. I get a province. See, now I have a real scary thing where basically he can block me pretty well. I guess I want to, well, I'm not really sure how to best play this, because you can potentially, like, if the province is your top two cards, then you want to see, this way I draw a little bit more, which didn't actually help me get a prize in this case, but it did help me get to like this amulet, which is nice. So now I get to block. He may win a prize. Well, probably not. I think he played his tournament. Does he have Cobbler? No. This is certainly a weird one. I'm not sure which prize is best to take either. Well, I mean, if he doesn't block me, I'll take Trusty Steed, because I'll have at least a shot at getting another prize. But you don't really know that. but I would say it's worth trying for at least. So now I have 5 or 6. I've got a good shot of blocking his tournaments here. It may have been better to get like Princess. I mean, there is no buy, and the Princess will be quite good, I think. But I could get the Humble Castle. I don't know why I would, but if he ever has, I guess one hope of getting the castles is that he follows me and doesn't buy more provinces, and then my tournaments keep being good. He's got a Cobbler, right? So he's got an okay shot at. I think I do want to gold, although that's sort of questionable. It may be better to have been a Cursed Village. I'd be pretty scared actually to buy a Cursed Village, mucking with the top of my deck, knowing what I have in hand. That would have been fairly questionable, I would think. So if he doesn't get any prizes this turn, I have a decent shot of getting both of the other good ones. So he gains a Humble Castle, which is a little weird to me anyway. That's good though. I would rather him go for castles than provinces, because that means my tournaments will be worth money pretty often. Or at least sometimes. The more castles he has, the more my tournaments will work. So that's excellent for me if he does kind of continue along that line. I could buy a poorhouse here, actually. That wouldn't be crazy. Not like immediately or anything, but okay. Well, that all being the case, I feel pretty good about my odds. Do I have enough for double province here? I do. If I take coin with the amulet. I could trash 106. I could get a silver. That probably isn't very good. This will probably be blocked. No, he must have drawn it. Now he blocks me. Yeah. There I have the whatchamacallit in this next set, so that's nice. He may have his cursed village in his hand too. When he unveils some of the better castles, I'll buy them for sure. Is it worth it to get a poorhouse? Maybe. Probably not though. I think I can probably score enough points on provinces. Certainly it's going to be pretty dependent on whether he has provinces in his hand or not, because that's a lot of my economy in a given turn is coming from playing tournaments. I don't really have a proper engine, you know. I just have a sort of a mass of prizes and tournaments. I don't really have a good deck particularly. But it's going to be better than his deck for the most part, I have to imagine. If I end up with only like $5 here or something, I'll buy the small castle. It's a nice one to have to poach the other castles, of course. Which is all I really care about as far as them. I don't need any specific one so much as I don't want the game to last so long that he gets a bunch of them or anything like that. I also don't mind just buying 4 more provinces, you know. He doesn't exactly have the money to did he get the diadem or did he leave it? He got the bag of gold, okay. That'll hurt his points some. I think I probably will want the diadem at some point, but maybe at a point where I absolutely need the cash right now is the time to wait for that. All right, here is Heinz. All right. Alright, well I managed a 6-0 via the usual 6-0 method, which is nice draws. Very lucky draws. Unfortunately, Cobbler didn't get to do too much, but he had a couple boards where he was doing work. But thank you all for watching, and I'll see you later.